heavy policy questions so far, so I'm going to give you a little bit of lighter one. People like to know who their senator would be, what you think of your district. So we're going to start with Mr. Allard on this one. And if you were telling someone how to have a perfect date in Senate District 13, what would you tell them to do?
I like this question. I've been on a few dates. So I would say start at First Beach, spend the day at the beach. Hopefully it's not January. And then I would absolutely recommend a really good dinner, which is my favorite restaurant, which is the Cookhouse. They have this dessert called the Snowball from Hell. It's my favorite thing in the world, so I would highly recommend that as well. Other things I would recommend is maybe a trip to the art museum or the Redwood Library, because they're very, very interesting places around town. And I would very much recommend Ocean Drive. That's where I run every Sunday morning, and I think it's one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Your first and last date to take to the beach in January. All right, Donna, what would you recommend for a first date in Senate District 13?
So I think one of the funnest things to do is actually hop on the ferry that kind of bops you around the harbor. You can go over to Jamestown, and it's a nice little boat ride. It's very affordable, and you can bring your lunch on it. You can bring your bike if you want. And I would basically take a little ferry ride over to Jamestown, bike around the island, and have a picnic lunch. And then come back over to Newport and ride around. Can you tell that I'm a cyclist? I like biking. And then I would take a bike ride around Ocean Drive.
You're brave to go cycling on a date. All right, John Flores, what would you say?
I'm a walker. I love walking everywhere, right? I'm addicted to my Fitbit. My wife and I are always challenging each other, and I usually win, right? And so I walk.
She do?
I do every time. I'm obsessed with it. And what I love doing is just walking through the streets of Newport, where all the touristy areas are, because I love looking at the faces of all these individuals who are coming here for the first time, or this is their routine summer trip. And I love looking at their faces. I love looking at the excitement, that collective energy. It's just so unique and amazing. And at night, there are a lot of places I love to go to. I love going to grab sushi at the Cookhouse in the summer. That's an experience if anyone does it. I love going to Sardella's too. It's a really friendly staff. I don't work there, I'm just plugging it, but it's an amazing place. And you can't go wrong. There's like a million possibilities of excellence, of awesomeness here in Newport. And no matter what combination you choose, you're gonna win.
I like all these all-day dates. Wow, first dates are intense with the candidates. Okay.
So this is your first date. You're going to go to James.
Life is different in Newport, I guess. That's great. Good for you guys. All right, Mr. Hinos, what's your first date in District 13?
District 13, it's a wonderful place. I mean, some of the favorite things to do is just walk around the streets a little bit. Again, look at the beautiful architecture. Think of yourself standing in the same area where George Washington was addressing the public, and just sitting up here on the stage, I just wonder how many hundreds of actors and folks have actually sat up here over the years. It's just an amazing thing to try to absorb if you're a history person. That's one thing. If you like nature, there's certainly nothing better than going out to Ocean Drive or walking around Fort Adams. Maybe bring a pet with you because it's your first date in case it gets awkward. You can throw the pets all around.
You've gone on a few first dates, I guess.
Not in 20
Not in a while.
Not in 24 years.
Sorry, Mrs. Hinos.
Not in 24 years. Don't get me in trouble. But seriously, I mean, we have so much beauty, and then you can wrap it up in just any one of the many, many awesome restaurants that you have. Try to get an outdoor one in the summertime. I mean, there's lots of little places to go. Catch the sunset. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth to live. It just is.
All right, Kim Ripley, first date recommendation. What do you say?
Okay, first date. So if you were I would say start out at the Mad Hatter Bakery, grab a coffee, and I love it too. But then grab that and then just walk around. So from there, walk down Broadway, look at the different businesses and restaurants are there. They're very, very unique, and they're all independent, which is really, really nice. So you're not, inundated with a chain. You hit Washington Square as a historian, the Colony House. Work your way down. Maybe take a tour from the Newport Historical Society, which can then explain a little bit more, you could pop down to Washington Street where one of the houses that's owned by the Preservation Society would get to see a real true colonial style home, the impeccable furniture. If you have the opportunity, I would say go and check out one of the mansions. I mean, that's what's in Newport, the Gilded Age, what brought people here. And if it's still going good, what I would say is maybe catch some sun. I think the beaches are awesome, but I would say go to Fort Adams and walk around Fort Adams, maybe catch a sail, have a sail in Newport. If you're hard up for conversation, Brenton Point on Saturday watching the kites fly. And then, finish it out at some...
Sorry, your date is over. I think you're married. Thank you. Mr. Smith, the best first date in District 13.
I'd love to know the dating sites are using. Anyway, so my wife and I have a little chappy moped, and we love to just go around town. Big fan of everything on Broadway, Malt, and everything there. But also Jamestown has so much to offer too. Slice of Heaven is just one of my most favorite places for breakfast, and Corner Cafe in Newport for breakfast. It's kind of an endless question, really, because honestly, I've lived all over the country. I grew up in Rhode Island, and I came back. My wife's from Texas, and we always just are so grateful to live here. And it's true. It's a great place.
It's great. I don't have to think of a date. I take my fiance out for months now, so I can steal all the other guys.